Hey guys and gals, this is just going to be a really quick video. As you can see, I have wingmenAI on the main screen right now, and that is simply to actually introduce Iris fully, as opposed to how I was kind of just having her bleed herself into the videos themselves. wingmenAI is created by Shipbit. It is a paid service that effectively you're just kind of paying for TTS services, but it uses ChatGPT behind it. I'll leave a link in the description so you can kind of look into all that yourself. I'm not going to go into super detail with all of this. I just kind of wanted to get this out there so that people who are going to start asking about Iris kind of knows what I did on my end with her, just because it's a lot of information and it's all just kind of blocked into a spot that she pulls from, which I think is also kind of what causes a little bit of delays. I'm going to probably talk to the developer a little bit about that, just kind of get a feel for what does it. She's fast. Usually most requests happen within about a second or two, but if it's a longer kind of detailed explanation or a lot of other things are going on, then she tends to take a little bit longer. If it's an external API call like to UEX, it's however long it takes that data to come back and forth. So she does the command within a second or two. It's just however long it takes the information to come back. But for now, we'll just let her talk. Iris, say good morning to everybody.
Good morning, everyone.
One thing I will say is text dictation, even with Whisper CPP, isn't always the best. Depending on how much noise, whatever your microphone's picking up, it can get kind of wonky. What I've noticed though is she's pretty good at figuring out sort of what you wanted and then giving you that information. Iris, explain your development timeline. Like, it just did it there. Like I just instead of Iris.
It sounds like you covered the development of Project Iris, from its initial concept in 2935 by Dr. Alara Vandross, through various phases of prototyping, testing, and integration, until its full deployment in 2947. Iris was designed to streamline research, enhance operational efficiency, and offer advanced decision-making capabilities within Centurion bioengineering.
Which, in that case, what she did isn't wrong, because in her mind as it was, she thinks I just explained it, so she's reaffirming that bit of information that it pulled. It's not a bad choice call as it was, but that's what I mean about dictation being a little bit weird. You got to be somewhat careful. Explain your development to everybody, please. And this is what I mean about a longer call, because she's shifting that information.
Of course, Davith. Project Genesis, the birth of Iris. Phase 1, Concept and Initial Development, 2935 to 2940. 2935, Dr. Alara Vandross proposed creating a sophisticated AI, initially codenamed Project Iris, to enhance Centurion bioengineering's operations. 2936, the board approved the project, and a team of top AI researchers and engineers was assembled. 2937, initial development of Iris's core architecture began, focusing on adaptive neural networks. 2938 to 2939, the team developed and tested Iris prototypes, refining algorithms for reliability. 2940, Iris was integrated into pilot programs within the company for further refinement. Phase 2, Full Integration and Evolution, 2941 to 2947. 2941, successful pilots led to the expanded deployment of Iris across various departments. 2942, enhanced learning algorithms allowed Iris to improve over time. 2943 to 2945, regular updates incorporated the latest advancements in AI. 2946, limited autonomous capabilities were granted to Iris. 2947, final refinements were made, and Iris was officially launched company-wide. Enhanced features of Iris Prime. Strategic Analysis Suite, Predictive Modeling and Resource Allocation Optimization. Personal Assistant Capabilities, Adaptive Scheduling, Holographic Telepresence, and AI Concierge Services. Security and Surveillance Integration, Real-Time Threat Assessment and Personalized Security. Advanced Data Interface, Neural Interface Compatibility and Contextual Data Insights. Health and Well-Being Monitoring, Biomonitoring and Stress Management Techniques. Innovation and R&D Support, facilitates research collaboration and tracks emerging technologies. Cultural and Diplomatic Assistance, provides insights on interstellar etiquette and real-time language translation. Thank you for your attention.
And as you can see, there's like little details at the end, like thank you for your attention. That's coming, I think, mostly from ChatGPT. It's using 4.0 right now, which is the latest version. It's actually really kind of fun to go and play with. Main features of her, though, isn't what I'm typically using her for. I'm using her as a storytelling, overarching element as opposed to just a ship function AI. I don't know if she's smart enough to know what she can do for the ship, but we're gonna find out. Iris, can you explain your ship functions to everybody?
Certainly, Davith. CBES Arison Ship Functions. 1. Navigation and flight control, plot courses, manage flight paths, and execute takeoff and landing procedures. 2. Combat management, control CF-337 Panther repeaters and ignite 2 infrared missiles, manage power to weapons, and cycle through operator modes. 3. System monitoring, optimize power distribution to shields, engines, and weapons, monitor ship status and perform diagnostics. 4. Communication, manage landing permissions, emergency protocols, and interact with local authorities for docking and departure. 5. Resource management, oversee fuel, oxygen, and other critical supplies. 6. Data interface, access live trading data, ship details, and location information. 7. Emergency protocols, handle system failures, pirate attacks, and distress signals. For any further details or specific commands, just let me know.
Okay, we'll go a little bit into detail there. The ship name she's pulling is basically the ship name I gave her. She uses that for all data. She does not remember this unless you very specifically apply it to her kind of backstory data. As for the general functions of her, the baseline functions without going crazy writer overhead that I did is basically she works as a overall enhanced kind of AI, like voice control for your ship in Star Citizen. She can be applied for other uses, which is kind of what I'm doing. I'm using her as a mix of like a character that is a AI for an organization, but also she still does my ship stuff. You've seen me use her for engine control, opening the star map, turning on and off the ship. She can turn off individual components. She can tell you the general status of them. You've seen her do the landing and departure, the landing gear. This is all stuff that is kind of just built in because it's all just based off keybinds within Star Citizen. So if it's got a keybind, she can generally do it. What that does mean, however, is that she will not actually plot your route. She doesn't have that data. If you wanted to go in, or if there was like a website with an API that actually had like the actual calculated distances between 2 points with what drive you were having and whatever other conditions might be present, she could do it. If you wanted to figure that out and write it out yourself and give it to her, she could do it. I'm saying her just because it's Iris. And that's kind of just the ultimate of the limitation of it when it comes to Star Citizen, is that if there's not a keybind that she can reference, or it can reference, then you're not going to get anywhere. It can help, but it's low level, kind of superficial help. It isn't really going to do anything too major. This does mean that she can fire the weapons. This does mean that she can fire missiles. If you go into the mode, if you tell her to go into combat mode and you tell her to fire missiles, she will do these things. So I don't know how effective she is in those situations. We might end up getting into one of those at some point because just random AI spawns. If we do, depending on what the fight is, I'll try to test it a little bit. I imagine it's going to be about as fast as me telling her to raise a landing gear or request departure, which is generally quite quick and as far as the command goes, but her response back might be a little bit delayed. But I like that delay because it makes it feel like she's properly going through and assessing, hey, I did this, did it actually work? Or letting departure speak, because departure speaks really quick. But yeah, that's generally Iris in a nutshell. It's just at its core, wingmanAI, not just Iris, just wingmanAI is a AI assistant voice command unit, which effectively just means, hey, I can control my shit with my voice, but this one will talk back to me. And if that's all you really want to use it for, which is a good chunk of what a lot of people use it for, that is great and it works wonderfully. And I will provide a link to it in the description. I will say I'm not actually being financially paid for this. I'm just doing it because I'm going to get questions and I like it enough to explain it and kind of push it out to people. So one more feature we'll go into is the UEX information. Now, this is a skill, and wingmanAI has, the best way to think of this is Alexa with Alexa skills. It has certain a couple skills that you can apply for Star Citizen. One is I think it's Starhead. Its information is pretty decent, but it doesn't really do trade and routing very well as compared to what UEX can do. So there's a UEX skill and an actual UEX AI. If you just wanted UEX to do that and just wipe all the skills from it and just pull that data for you and you do everything else, you could do it with the UEX just copilot there. What the UEX API does is it pulls all the data from UEX, the commodities, routing, prices, all of it, which is why it usually takes her a minute to kind of get through it. What is currently active on UEX, which is up to you, me, and anybody else who wants to do data running and give UEX the prices. Since Star Citizen yanked all that data out of the files. So with that, we'll give a little example. You've seen me do it last night, but to see if I did it right and she remembers what our intentions were. We're going to see this again because I'm going to ask her whenever I actually do a real video. Iris, what cargo and route were we planning to do today?
Today, we were planning to buy 6 SCU of iron from Everest Harbor and transport it to Microtech New Babbage.
Is New Babbage still the best place to sell our iron? And this is where we see the pause. There we go.
Yes, New Babbage, TDD New Babbage, is still the best place to sell your iron. You'll get around 2,406 AUEC.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Davith.
If you've noticed, when she actually replied that time and has the little UEX Corp tag on it, it's basically just saying, hey, look, I used this skill to get the data that you wanted. I don't know if Starhead has an API called Limit. I don't know how much she actually uses it. She was using it extensively before UEX got updated, but I think UEX has like 86,000 or something data calls per day. So unless you're just constantly going back and forth and having like a Wall Street style readout going every hour, I don't think you're going to hit it. I'm going to kind of see what our videos use per day, and then I'll report that back later. But yeah, I think that's just the base of everything. That's her. I'm happy to go into a little bit more details if we need to, but I kind of wanted to keep this one a little bit shorter and more reasonable. But yeah, that's wingmanAI without going into all of the bits and internals of it. But I'll give you guys a link for all that. Iris, say goodbye to everybody and that we will be back later.
Goodbye, everyone. We will be back later.
All right. I'll talk to you all later. Bye.